Hi, I'm Candy Andy, and I've been living in Spain for the past 2 years, so I thought I'd tell you what I'm doing here. So I'm going to tell you about my program in case anyone is interested in doing it in the future, or if you're just curious. So the official name of the program, at least in the United States, is North American Language and Cultural Ambassadors. But the program is also open to people from different countries. So what it is basically right now in this global economy, with English being the business language of the world and especially Europe, Spain's falling behind because they have a very, very low level of English. If you go to the northern countries in Europe, like Germany, Netherlands, most people speak English. It's almost like a fluent second language in those countries, whereas some countries in the south of Europe, like Spain, France, and Italy, speak almost zero English. So now Spain is pushing to get people to speak English, so eventually they can be more engaged in that market and be doing business with other people in English. So they're starting up a bunch of bilingual schools, but even for the non-bilingual schools, they are wanting to get native English speakers in the English classes. Overall, I would say the program is great. Basically, it's different for Madrid and for the rest of Spain. So in the majority of Spain, you work only 12 hours a week, which I know to us is like nothing. And you get paid 700 euros a month, which in my experience, when I did that last year, I lived in quite a rural area, and that was plenty of money. And it's really nice because it allows you plenty of free time to travel around Spain and maybe Europe, and also to do other activities, get involved in your community. So that was really nice. And most people also give private English classes to get some extra cash on the side. In Madrid, you work 16 hours and you get paid 1,000 euros a month. So since Madrid is more expensive to live, that makes sense. And my experience, again, I don't spend a lot of money. I don't go out a lot. I really search for cheap places. I'm not in the center, so for me, it's been plenty of money. But if you want to live smack dab in the center, where your rate's going to be twice as high as mine, and you want to go out every night, then the money might be cutting it close. But for me, it's been plenty of money. So yeah, overall, I'd say the program is really great. The only tip I would give you is know why you're there, what you're doing, know your responsibilities. Okay, so the reason you're here is because you're a native English speaker, and it's also required to have a bachelor's degree. So you are considered an expert in the subject of English, I would hope. And so you're there for that reason, to assist the children in their English, and especially the oral aspect, right? Because we have perfect pronunciation and we have the accent, better than their Spanish teachers could provide for them. So that's why we're there, to be working with the kids, especially speaking. What you can come across sometimes is teachers or schools who don't really know how to use you, so it can be kind of awkward. So things that are not your job, lesson planning. The people who come into this program, us, we are not experienced teachers. We are usually, college grads with no experience, so we should not be planning entire lessons, completely taking over the class. We are aiding the teacher. Although some teachers have let me take over the class completely, and I haven't minded. So, that's not your job, but if you don't mind and you like it, I guess that's okay. But you shouldn't be spending lots of time out of class, non-paid hours, doing all this planning, when really that's the teacher's job. That's not your job. Also, you are not the teacher's personal assistant. I'm just going to say it. You're not their bitch. So you shouldn't be spending all your time grading their papers for them, making photocopies and little errands like that. I've also had that experience. And, Your job is to be working and speaking with the kids and helping the teachers, but you're not running around doing little silly errands like that. That's not your job. They should be prepared for their class, before it starts. Another thing, a strict rule in our program is you are not to be left alone with the children at any time. So you will understand when you come here why that's so appreciated, because Spanish children, the standard of behavior here is, well, it's very different from what I'm used to, at least in the United States. Those kids can get crazy, very, very loud, and the class can get out of control very quick. So it's actually really nice to always have one teacher there, at least to just keep them under control. Even if you're leading the class or something, you probably want someone there just to feel comfortable. Okay, so those are the no's. Another thing that can tend to happen, which is a bit inevitable, is that you may find yourself kind of doing nothing. In some classes, the teacher will just be teaching the class and you will be kind of standing there awkwardly. It's going to happen sometimes, but try to avoid it. Try to be engaged, whether that be walking around the class, looking at the students' work, making sure everyone understands and gets it, helping maybe individuals who need that help, or maybe I hope that you can feel comfortable enough to kind of chime in and make suggestions and help out. But it's kind of a tricky one to avoid, but try not to just stand there and do nothing. So again, about don't be afraid to speak up. Spanish people are not shy, and I know you may feel shy in this new situation, but don't be afraid to speak up if you have ideas for the class, if you have any input. I think they usually really appreciate. Also, don't be afraid to speak up, if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, which definitely happens. If they're asking you to, just do work for free, or if they're asking you to do something that you don't feel comfortable with, or you feel shouldn't be your job, just don't be afraid to speak up about anything that you feel uncomfortable with, okay? Because sometimes they will take advantage of you, and they tend to be a bit overbearing, so you have to stand up for yourself or you might get walked all over, unfortunately. You gotta be bold. So I said some possible negatives, but again, overall the program is fun. It's pretty easy, let's be honest, because you have lots of free time. But again, be prepared for those Spanish children because they are crazy. I have a wide range of experience in this because I've done high school last year, elementary this year. I was in a very rural area last year, and now I'm in Madrid, the capital. So I feel like I've seen the many sides of this program. So any questions you have, just write them in the comments. So yeah, give it a like and subscribe. Bye.